Om. I, the pure consciousness, or the sense of self awareness, I, the pure consciousness, or the sense of self awareness, would manifest the words of truth and would manifest the words of wisdom through his finite mind and through his finite body. And blessings to be on my truth seeker, blessings to be who is seeking for herself or who is seeking for himself. Okay, so today is November 24th, and first of all, happy Thanksgiving to you, all of you, my American folks. November 24th, happy Thanksgiving to you, my American folks. First of all, it's a Thanksgiving day. What I am thankful for, that I have the day off today and I can answer an inquiry, and that's exactly what I am doing. And that's exactly what I am doing. I am answering the inquiry, and the inquiry is this person, they have started following me on YouTube, which is a great thing, and they like the way I deliver or answer an inquiry or answer a question, basically. Um, so I hope you are following me. That they have started following me through YouTube and they like the way I answer the inquiry and they like the way that I answer the questions in such a detailed and profound manner. So they have asked me that for the most part, unfortunately and sadly, like 77% of the humanity, they are also finding themselves in a mental chaos, which is they find themselves for the most part of the day, every day, in conflicts. Conflict mean there is a duality, there is a friction, there is no straight or clarity, there is no straight path, there is no focus, there is no clarity. Um, Conflict in the mind, not satisfied by um, what you see in your surroundings, not satisfied by how rest of the humanity is responding to you or acting towards you. Um, Not satisfied by not satisfied by what you are perceiving. All this, not satisfied with the present experience. So I have made the opening first and I have given you what their inquiry is. Their inquiry is that for the most part, unfortunately and sadly, they find themselves in the conflicts. When we find ourselves in the conflict, it means that we are not satisfied right now in present with the with our present experience. It means that there is a friction as how we are perceiving our present moment. It means that there is a feeling of being uncontented with what we are perceiving. When there is no conflict in awareness, when there is no conflict in mind, then the mind is at rest, mind is at peace, mind is rather silent. You see, shh, shh, mind is rather silent. But where there is a conflict, human or the awareness remains very unsatisfied and restless because the conflicts and dualities are formed by the ego, you see. And what how to not remain in the conflict is to lessen the ego. It's not very easy to do. The reason it is not the the reason it is not very easy, the reason it is not very easy to do, because ego is built by everything what we are told we are. Number two, ego is built and supported by believing in the lies or most of those things that what we are told, what's been handed over to us, or what has been handed to us, all these things, most of them are the lies. Ego is supported, ego is built, or ego is given birth, rather ego is built and ego is rather given birth by everything. When we are growing up, we are told what we are. Ego is supported by not questioning as what has been handed over to us. And then what happens? Ego grows and grows. Ego is a certain mind frame that I want things to be like this. You see, ego is a certain mind frame. This mind frame is built and supported by ourselves. Ego does not have an awareness, ego does not have a life basically of its own. If you understand what I'm saying to you, ego does not have a life, ego does not have an awareness or life of its own. Ego is given birth by us, by our awareness, and ego is supported by our focus and our awareness. Ego cannot sustain if we do not support the ego. In order to look into the ego, in order to lessen the ego, we need to see what we believe, and we need to challenge what we believe we are. And we must have the capability, clarity, and wisdom. We must have the capability, clarity, and wisdom to find out by ourselves or personally what we are. Then there is a chance that we can successfully lessen the ego or even get rid of the ego. It means that now we are lessening the friction. It means now we are lessening the conflicts, because the reason we have conflicts among us and even within the mind, because each one of us, or more than half of the humanity, is basically acting on the ego. You see, more than half of the humanity is basically acting on the ego, and it's um, each more than half of the humanity, each human seems to have an ego, a liking and disliking, that this is what I want. I want it to be in my way. And of course, when a mind frame is like this, of course, when a mind frame tells you that I want it to be in my way, I hope you are following. When a mind frame tells you that I want it to be in my way, of course, the other mind frame, who is also operated by the ego, does not agree with the first mind frame. And then there rises the conflict. Once the conflict rises, because of the very ego, we the humans do not clarify. We the humans think, because of the very ego, that why should I go ahead and clarify? Why should I break the silence? You see, breaking the silence breaking the silence is a big deal for humans. They want to suffer, unfortunately, in the silence and in the conflicts in the mind. You see, but if you question everything, what's being handed over to you, and what you are identified with, then there is a chance that you can lessen the ego. If you understand what I am saying to you, if you understand that what are basically, if you understand what are basically the factors which is keeping us restless and creating the conflict in the mind, if we can look into the conflicts, if if we can see that the things we believe, unfortunately and sadly, what we believe, and we keep on going in what we believe. I hope you are understanding what I am saying to you. We believe what we believe, and we keep on going what we believe. The problem starts, we don't question if it is healthy for me, if it is um, friendly to me. What about if I adopt? What about if I embrace a thought, a phenomena, a philosophy? What kind of benefits is going to bring? How it is going to be significant towards my spiritual growth? Is it going to bring peace of mind, or concrete peace of mind within me? These are the questions one has to ask before you adopt a notion, before you adopt a theory. You should not go blindly believe that first you are told that you are a particular gender, then you are told that you are a particular color and race, and you belong to a particular nation, and this is how a person acts, basically within these traits and within these parameters. In order to function in a particular society, these traits and these parameters may have some significance. But the problem starts when you start believing that this is what you are. And then um, the ego starts. Based on that, you form your liking, disliking. Based on that, you form that how you want to be in a particular situation, how you want to have the experience. Based on all that, basically, um, this is all ego, that how you would like. And then this, an ego also is, this is how I am. You see, this is how I am. If I am in a certain way, then I have certain privileges. This is all ego. But the truth of the matter is, no one has any privileges. No one has any entitlement based on what they have been told. If you are following what I'm saying to you, no one has any privileges. No one has any entitlement based on what they are told. And if they believe it, and if they just keep going believing what they are told, then they would always remain in the conflicts. You see, because of course rest, life is happening overall. If you understand what I'm saying to you, life is not happening to support an individual's ego. You understand why you are having the conflicts? You are having the conflicts because you are going against the very nature of life. Life is happening overall. Life is not happening to support an individual ego. You see, to support individuals liking or disliking, or to support an individual's experience, that how um, good or how bad or how uncomfortable or comfortable is the experience. Life is not happening to support all this. Life is happening overall. And if you remain in the conflict based on what you are told, and if you do not question that, you would always remain in the conflict. You see, in order to get concrete peace, in order to be not bothered by the ego. Are you following me? In order to get concrete peace, and in order to be not bothered by the ego, it's very significant that you realize that you do not exist as an individual, and you or we could not exist as an individual. Ego, in a nutshell, is a false sense of the individuality, if you are following me. Ego, basically, in a nutshell, is a false sense of individuality. Ego tells you to not clarify things. Ego tells you that other person has to break the silence or has to make a move. All this is human ego, which creates distances and creates conflicts in humans' awareness. You see, when I started this video, um, almost like 20-25 minutes ago, I'm trying to give you a clear picture that why and how the conflicts in human mind are given birth. You see, why and how the conflicts in the human mind are given birth, and what can be done basic, and how the conflicts are supported, and what is the major factor which supports the conflicts. The major factor which supports the conflict is ego. Then I have told you what is ego and how is ego supported by. Is ego abstract? Anything which is abstract is detrimental in your spiritual growth. You see, some abstract things are necessary to function in the society. For instance, if you have to fill out an application form, you can identify, excuse me, if you have to fill out an application form, you can identify yourself with a gender. But the truth of, but truth, but inside within you is your liberty. That's the word I'm looking for. Inside within you is your liberty to believe what you are told. It's not as clear cut. Nature, life, and nature is not as clear cut whether it has to be a male or it has to be a female. Not long time ago, these were the only two options. But now, this so-called modern human is evolving. So now they are giving you other options. Back in ancient India, back thousands and thousands of years back, basically. The age of Upanishad, when the rishis and the sages self self explored themselves, they came to the most, which is the birth of human wisdom, the most realistic facts about individual. That's why uh, we do not give a lot of significance in the gender. You see, gender is something, personally, it is my liberty. You see, personally, it is my liberty. What I can, this is my liberty to explore. This is my liberty to find out whether I want to be even identified with a gender. You see, an example would be if you believe what you are told, that if you are a male or you are a female, which is a lie. Either way, you are neither. You see, you can find out, as I said earlier, you can find out personally. But if you believe, you would always be in conflicts with the opposite. That's one fundamental and very basic example that how conflicts are given birth, you see. But if you are in a process of exploration yourself, if you are in a process to find out, if you are not drawing conclusions, if you are not drawing opinions, if you are a silent spectator and observer within, are you following what I'm saying to you? Then you would not be in conflict. You would embrace the change and you would adopt the change. You would not be in conflict with opposite gender. You would not generalize all men in a particular way. You would not generalize all women in a particular way. You see, this is what we understand as smoothness in awareness. If you understand what I'm saying to you, this is what we understand is smoothness in our awareness. And that smoothness can only be attained, that smoothness can only be achieved when we have enough clarity and we are not emotionally attaching ourselves in the experience. Because when we believe what we are handed over, we take it very personally, if you understand, and we become very emotional, we become very sentimental, we become very passionate about experience, present experience. We take life very seriously based on the lies, actually. And then you are always in conflicts. You can mark my words. You see, so much clarity I'm bringing within you. So much clarity I am telling you that how to lessen the conflicts. If you only paid attention and paid focus, you would find your answer. You would find the solution of your predicament or of your confusion. These are the things when your mind is rather silent. These are the things when you are not racing or you are not trying to compete with the mind. These are the things when you take a deep breath and you analyze a particular situation before you get involved in it. These are the things when you question everything you are told. This is what you are. You are a certain color, you are a certain gender. You are either black, you are either white, or you are either brown. You are either a male or you are a female. You belong to a particular society. You belong to a particular culture. You have a particular you have a particular family line, you have a particular family heritage, you have a particular history. You should be very proud, and this is what you are. You see, most people, most humans are living in these lies. You see, none of that you are. The life which is running through your body, I would say at this moment in time, so you wouldn't get confused or too deviated from this present topic, I would say in this moment in time that life is you. You see, all these traits that I mentioned not long ago, when the time comes for us and we leave what we have borrowed from the planet, which is this accumulation, what you understand as body, and also along with the body, all these traits, the ego, it remains here. You see, if it were you, then it means that now you have a sense that I died or I am going to die. But no, in reality, life leaves the accumulation and move on. So we are that life, but not the accumulation. All these traits, all this ego would end up with what has been borrowed from the planet. It would end up right here. But what we essentially are, we would further progress. You see, based on how we have lived one lifetime or one carnation. So ponder on what I said about ego, please, okay? Ponder on what I said about ego. Look into it and listen that what is ego, how it is given birth, and how it is supported by us and by others, and how it gives birth to conflicts in your mind. Once you lessen the conflicts, once there is no friction, once there is no duality, then you are one with the rest of the creation. Once you are one with the rest of the creation, then there are no conflicts. Second thing, not only I bring the clarity in your mind with the words of truth and wisdom, but I also always encourage you to create distance emotionally and psychologically, create distance between the life what you essentially are and the psychology and the ego through by maintaining simple certain positions, by maintaining simple certain um, postures, the body postures, by maintaining simple positions and by maintaining simple postures, you can create the distance. Then you would be more in the charge of your life. You see, then you would be more in the charge of your life. Then you can evaluate a situation, and then you would be more in the power to question what's being handed over to you in order to lessen the very friction. You see, I hope this video has made a significant difference now and has brought some clarity. However, even if you have questions or you missed something, rewatch the video and pay close focus and attention to my words, because in the end everything is connected. As I tell you, I am just connecting the dots to give you a picture by maintaining the simple postures which does not require any outside help or anybody. Nature has made you complete. So take advantage of that while you are, or while we all are still in this body, and yet we have time, and the time is now. So take charge of that. And by maintain simple postures, sit attentive, pay attention. Backbone is extremely significant. Backbone is where the consciousness runs through or find the expression in the body. So sit attentive. Do not bend over. You see, bending over, I'm sure you have heard of that. Do not bend over or lean forward or lean backward or anything. Just sit attentive and pay attention to your breathing. There's life going in, life going out. Do not try to create more philosophies. Do not try to create new religions. And once you understand and make this habit, make this practice your regular habit, you would see the tremendous differences.